How you doing? Welcome back to Bazzas Backyard Budget Build for Billy Bob. Part 2. So today we're going to talk mainly about building the front end or the steering for it, okay? Obviously we're trying to keep budget down, so we're quite conscious of that. So what I'm going to show you is basically how I've built the front end. So if we switch over this way a little bit, this here is the 30mm bar. Just standard 30mm bar that we started off with in the last video. We've cut 80mm pieces and we've drilled a hole through them. Okay, so that's the first bit. The next bit is we've got some 6mm by 50mm steel, flat plate steel, which is what we've made the end pieces for the Heim joints to go into. So these Heim joints here, supplied by Motiv Part Supply in Taranaki, good deal on those, so hit them up for those. And these will go into the end plates, which will then mount the axle and everything onto it. So the other thing we've got is we've got this steel here, which is a 55 by 30 with a 3mm wall. So this is what we're going to use for the front axle. Now there's 3 pieces that go into that, cut at 5-degree angles, so that when we put the whole thing together again, it will give us our 10-degree angle. So if we have a little bit of a look at this lovely picture that I've drawn here with my best drawing. So what we're looking at here is, this is the front end itself. We're using a 20mm up, 12mm in, and we've drilled a 12mm hole. And then what we do is we get dividers and we set it up to 96mm. And the reason that we set it up to 96mm is because the distance from there to there needs to be the same as the distance between the top of the Heim joint and the 80mm that we've got inside here. So we've got 80mm plus half the distance of each of those, which means that we bolt it together, the 80mm piece is going to fit nicely inside there. So that's the dimensions for that bit there. Now if we go over to the next side of this bit here, we can now show you, these are the 2 other pieces that I've done with my lovely drawing again. So we've got the main piece here, which is 300mm long from outside to outside, again with a 5-degree angle cut on it. And then the other one at the bottom here, we have the bottom one, which is the short pieces, which is this one here, which is basically 135mm on the outside with a 5-degree on one end and straight on the other. Okay, so what I'll do now is you can actually watch this little bit here, which will show you how I did those bits. Okay, so we're currently at a secret location. So what I'm doing here is I have machined up these. So this is an 80mm long with a 12mm hole through it. And then what we've done is we've set up the drill press here. We've set up the drill press to, if we look underneath here, we've set it up to, come on, focus, 10 degrees, all right? So we set it to 10-degree angle, which is the KPI angle we wanted, and then we've set up the drill press so it's on 10 degree. We've checked everything looks pretty square and all pretty good, and now we're going to drill a hole with a pilot drill just to get it started, and then we're going to drill a hole through, and then I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Alright, so now you've seen how I've done that. What we'll do now is we'll have a look at the piece that goes on to attach the link rods to. So that's basically this piece here. And again, this is a piece of 6mm, 50mm wide, and I made a cardboard template, looked a little bit like that, for the 30mm diameter of the axle holder. And then we drilled an 8mm hole in there. And the idea is we're going to use the Ackerman, which we've talked about before, which is the line that goes from the centre of the axle through that bolt to the centre of the rear wheel. Now, I can explain that more if you need it. I have shown it in other videos, so you can have a look at those and check those out. Right, so if we start having a look, what we ended up with is we ended up with this piece here. So this piece here has got that piece on there, and we've welded it on. We then put the axle in here, and as I showed you, we drilled a hole into here at 10 degrees, and then I put a little gusset in here to make it stronger, and then I've just completely welded it up. So that's now a completed front axle with the attachment on the side of here. So then all we do is we've made this piece, which has got the hole in there, and this gives us the ability to change the caster on the front. So this is the front, and it will lean back to give us more caster. So all we do is we have these Heim joints here, which are the 12mm ones. We basically just stick them through there. Now we can actually move this in or out if we need to give a camber adjustment if we need to put camber into it. I'm not a big fan of camber in the front. My current mower has it because that's how I built the original one, but I don't actually think it helps much at all. So then this is going to be the bottom, this is going to be the top, and it's going to be able to slot backwards. So this is the right hand side. So hopefully I've got the right hand one here. No, it's the left hand one. So here's one that I prepared earlier with the bolt that basically just goes through, and then we have the ability to loosen this off and slide it back so we can change that angle of there. What that angle change does is it enables us to get more turn in when we're handling. So if I lay the whole thing together, we have the centerpiece with a 5-degree angle on each end. We then have the other two pieces which we put together, and we end up with, so the two 5 degrees give us a 10 degree, and then the same at this end, the two 5 degrees give us a 10 degree, and then we have this piece here which we'll weld onto there, and then that will give us our complete actuation for the front end. And obviously the same thing's going to happen with this one at that end. Right, so that's what the front end is going to look like. Obviously I've now got to weld that all together and then weld these on as well, so we end up with everything sitting nicely square, straight, and then we can put this whole front end onto the end of the mower. So if you've got any questions about how all that works, then by all means, send us a comment. I can help you out with what the size of the steels were, where we get it from. Now, a lot of this stuff you should be able to get pretty cheaply from your local scrap merchant. You can either go into your engineering dude and go, hey, have you got any scrap out the back? Approximate sizing is fine. If you can't get exactly the same sizes, fine, get something that's pretty similar to it. And the same with the plates. If you can't get 6mm, you're going to get 5mm, that'll be fine as well. But you do want to use the 12mm Heim joints. So yeah, until we come back to next time, Bazzas Garage.